Good day and welcome back to another Legion remix video. In this video we're going to talk about is it possible to make gold and how you can in Legion remix, and yes it is, but in a very specific, albeit slow moving way. So let's talk about traditionally making gold. So in a traditional sense, making gold in Legion remix, not that possible. You'll make gold questing and doing certain things, but you don't traditionally make as much gold as you would playing your character in, the normal retail experience. You can't really do professions, you can't really gather materials, so making gold ultimately boils down to the minimal amounts of gold that you'll pick up from time to time doing quests and things. So traditional gold making is not holistically in the question, but there are some alternative ways to still generate gold out of Legion remix. So let's talk about the first method of making gold in Legion remix, and that is going to be through pet trading. So there are certain pets on the vendor list that you can sell on retail. So by buying these pets, for example, you're able to box them up, as you know you can in Legion, and you're able to then sell them, which is very important. These pets, once they are created up, can be sold on your auction house, and this gives you a little bit of a gold influx. Now it's not huge, because remember also lots of people will be doing this, and remember as well that it's a slow moving market in itself, but because these pets will be transferred across and because you can cage them up, it's one of the easier ways to turn spare bronze into potential money, because at some point these pets will become more limited, and coming back to get them from Legion will be far easier to get them via the auction house. So that's one way of converting your bronze. The second method of making money relies entirely on how good you are at boosting. Basically, the ability to get yourself a ton of power in Legion, and being able to get yourself up in terms of Legion remix strength. You could offer to sell boosts through certain raids. Now the amount of money you get is not super huge from it, but if you're someone who's super into that, then yeah, of course it's no problem, and you can very happily walk away with a fair chunk of funds from doing so. But it's something that requires you to be a bit more organized and probably part of a raid group to begin with. The last, way that you can make gold is completely indirect. So basically, by farming a whole bunch of alts to get all your bronze and your class mounts and everything, you have definitively given yourself an army of alts for professions. So it's not always the sexiest way of making money, but gathering and professions and making money that way is always very important. So by having an army of max level alts, you've given yourself a great way of making money at the next patch, or next big expansion more mainly. Like I said, it's not the coolest way, but it's the last kind of gold making indirect benefit that you really get from the game. So it's not the best, but it's not the worst either. So yeah, but that's it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next one hopefully. But until then, as always, take care, stay safe, and yeah, thanks for watching. And if you have any other ways that you can think of to make gold, I'd love to hear it. Bye.